Hi, welcome back to another video on the piece. I would like to talk about accountability. Very important with accountability. It's multiple things. Accountability for me is one, when you've made mistakes and you have to correct them. Two, it's about understanding yourself and don't feel ashamed knowing that you've made those mistakes that can be corrected. And also when it comes to friends, colleagues, family, loved ones, anyone who's close to you, you can change and make amends for the mistakes you've made. Don't feel guilty, because we all make mistakes. We're not perfect. We all got flaws. Well, we can change things and make amends. But it's about accepting, knowing that you can change those things, and also letting go, knowing that I've made a mistake, I like to change. But it's what we tell ourselves in the brain, where one hand is like, I don't want to say these things because I want to get into trouble. But the other hand is, what do you learn from that when you don't express and talk about these things? Because I believe growth comes from learning. Learning is about improving. Improving is learning from your mistakes. The mistakes you've made, growth will come. But also it comes down to being consistent, discipline, motivation, believe in yourself. And also the fact is, when your accountability comes in and you've made a mistake, just be humble, be present, and be honest. If you be honest, at least you've made amends. But if you shut that door and you don't make amends, the only one person that you're running from is yourself. Someone told me when I was in Vipassana retreat this year, it was in June, and I remember doing the retreat, and I was a bit nervous, I was a bit scared, and I didn't want to do it. And if I left, I'll be accountable for it, because I've left and made that choice. And I remember she says to me, there was a girl from Germany, all I remember she said, the biggest thing you got to remember when you're at Vipassana, silent retreat, is you versus you. When you're there, it's down to you, with your fears, your emotions, anything what comes up. So it's up to you if you want to leave. And what I did in that process is that I visualised, I was talking to myself, closed my eyes when I meditated, and I said, Sean, it's me and you now. And I visualised where I was walking through a door, and I just shut the door, got a key, locked it, chucked it away, and I said, you ain't going nowhere. Because I know then that was me saying, I'm going to do this, I'm staying here. If I get up and go, because I've got 7 days, I could have easily gone on the 3rd day or the 4th day. But then I'll be accountable for my own actions, knowing that I've made that conscious decision, which I left and I didn't do the full 7 days. But it's a lot of self-talk, where you have to talk to yourself constantly all the time. Even if when you fell out with someone, I'm not perfect, things happen, made mistakes, always try to make amends and to repair with that relationship with someone. Sometimes it could be we've moved on, but also I believe just to sit there, be uncomfortable in your own skin, but also just to be present. But sometimes what happens is, and I'll be honest, I've done it, I don't do it anymore. I'd rather speak to the person face to face than having to text, because what happens is, I feel when you text, you're not giving the time and space for that person. Depending what it is, and if that person's comfortable with that text, that's fine. It depends on the circumstances, it depends on the conversation. But if it's something a bit deeper and you need to sit down and talk, it's better to air it out and talk, because then at least that way you know where you are with that person and vice versa, which is very important, because interpretates a different way of looking at things sometimes. Not in every situation, because I know sometimes we're very busy with work, family commitments, everything, all that. But if it's something very dear to you and you care about that person, or you want to make amends, because I feel that we get so angry sometimes and we don't be accountable how we respond to each other. I've been there and I'm sorry, but also I'm being more self-aware of how I respond, how I speak to that person, the mistake I've made, and also speak to that person and be present and be polite. Regardless whatever that person thinks of me, at least I've made peace with that person. And if we go our separate ways, at least I've tried. That's the main thing. It's about trying. And also if you've done things like you set goals, or you go into the gym, or anything that you want to study, and you don't make that effort, and 6-7 months go down the line and you're making that story up. And don't get wrong, there is times where you might not have the time, but also you have to be accountable, because you can't blame that person, and you can't blame that person, and you can't blame that person. You can't keep looking back and forward thinking that, oh, it's down to you. But the few things I believe in what can help as well is, the fact is, 1, you can journal. 2, talk to someone who's close to you, who knows you. 3, it's just a matter of reflecting each week or every month, set those mega goals and that you aim, but also put them to small bites that you can work towards, which is very important. Because there's a lot of things that I want to do next year was going to push me in the direction where I want to go, but it's step by step. 1, you don't rush it. 2, you don't burn yourself out, because everything you do goes in stages. But also you've got to be aware of knowing that you have to be accountable for those things as well, which is very important. So it's step by step, but also give yourself praise. But also at the same time, if you feel that you've missed it down something, you're accountable for that. Make sure that you do it the next day. It could be the gym, it could be yoga, it could be you're learning new language, or you need to meet a friend, or you've arranged to do something. But be accountable if you don't show up or you don't follow through. Be down and own it as well. If you don't do that, then you're going to repeat the same thing over and over and over and over, and nothing will never change. That's the way I look at the outlook at things as well. But also, once you've been accountable, give yourself praise that you've known what's happened, you've been self-aware, you understand that things can change, but staying positive and sticking to the plan. Like I say earlier on, work, goals, friendship, anything what you need to do, because if you're not accountable for your own actions, you're going to be living life treading on eggshells all the time, knowing that I should have done this, I should have said that, or I've done it, and I'll be honest, where I've not been accountable for my own actions, or I've lied, or I've not made that effort with that person. But because I do a lot of reflection and I try to explain things and be comfortable in my own skin and be honest, the reason why this has happened, I do apologise. And I've done it where I said 2 months ago, and even now, listen, I'm sorry, this is why I've acted because of these circumstances, or because of this, because I was in a dark place, or because of this. As long as you explain and it's coming from the heart, then it's how that person takes it on board. Whatever how that looks, at least you said how you feel, and how you explain things is very important, and you can just carry on. And you know for a fact, at least you said it from kindness from your heart, and that's what matters. Really important. But also be kind to yourself. The moment you be accountable for your own actions, be kind and gentle to yourself. Don't be too hard on yourself, because what happens is words is powerful, very powerful. The words what you say to yourself, the words what you say to other people. But at least you can reflect on that and have a conversation. And if that person was not listening, take a step back, give them space, don't interrupt them, listen to what they're saying. Once they've finished what they've said, and then you say what you need to say, because that's very important as well. But also listen to yourself, knowing that if you've not made a decision or something's occurred and you're not being accountable, at least you can take a step back and say, you know what, I never did that, I do apologise, but don't repeat the same mistake again. And if that does occur, at least you can put your hands up and you can ask for advice as well. So you know you can learn from the last time, whatever mistakes you've made, at least it happens. Because what happens is, when going back a bit, when we was younger, we learn from family, friends, and even at school, and the people that we hang around. So we mirror like other people's behaviour and we copy. And once we copy what that other person doing, because I did that with my brothers and family and whoever's around. But then that means what happens is your core believes what you believe in and how you feel, which changes. And if you're not honest, where you pick up these things, where to the point that you repeat what they've done and not being honest, and then it continues. So you have to rephrase the words of, I'm being honest to myself because I feel I'll be at peace. I'm honest to myself because I want to be at peace with that person. And you have to rephrase those words. How does it feel in myself when I'm not being accountable? How does it feel in myself knowing that the mistake I've made? Be kind, Sean, be gentle to yourself. Knowing that you've made that mistake, we can learn and move forward from that mistake. So it's about rephrasing the words, what put in your head and the way you process things. So you can shift and say, yes, I've made a mistake, let it go, but I can learn and move forward and carry the rest of my day. But if you hold on to that, or if it's someone that, like I said before, upset, you'll never move forward. And I feel the more you take that control and you know you've been in the wrong or something's happened, at least you're self-aware, there's no guilt, there's no shame, and it's okay. We all need help at some point in our lives. And that's something I've always believed in as well. And the more you start to be in line with everything and the way you see yourself and what you manifest, because again, everything stems from, we copy what other people are doing. So when I was younger, I copied that in that direction. My dad was never around, so I'd copy people's behaviour, and I'd lie and lie and lie, and I keep lying. But then over due time, I could see lying doesn't get you anywhere, and I wasn't being accountable for my own actions. And it's very important to implement these things. I'm accountable, I'm moving forward, I'm in my own power, I feel at peace myself. And over due time, you'll start to see things grow when you're being accountable and you're expressing how you feel, you're expressing what's happened, and you're expressing to the point where you feel that when you do make a mistake, you haven't got that guilt. Because that guilt, again, comes down to when you're younger as a child. When you made a mistake, you learn to listen, but also you're scared if you made a mistake, you'll get rejected. That was for me. But then we all make mistakes, we learn from those mistakes, and we get back up and move forward. So it's about moving forward, get back up, be self-aware, put your hands up. If you're being accountable, ring a close friend, talk about it, express those emotions where you know things can change, and we all can change. You just have to be patient with yourself. Okay? So anything you'd like to talk to me about, DM, email, call me, and I'll see you again soon. Take care and look after yourself. One more thing, I wish you all a Merry Christmas. I'm very grateful that you've taken your time to listen to the video. I'm very grateful all the contents I put on Instagram. Thank you so much. It means the world to me. And I cannot wait for the new year. And I'll be doing another video just before Christmas. And in January, some big, big, big news. I can't wait to share it with you. Not yet, but I will let you know. Thank you.